Hey there, content creators. Christopher here, and I want to talk about the day job myth. And you may be saying to yourself, great, Christopher is going to tell me a way that I don't have to have a day job while aspiring to be a successful content creator or filmmaker. And I hate to break your heart, but no. But what I do want to talk about is the bad advice that I've gotten for a long time about day jobs and working on content. So, I am a fairly successful notary. And the reason that I'm a fairly successful notary is that I am very good at it. I understand the documents. I am a people person. And so I have success. And between my wife and I, we make a fairly decent living. Before I was a notary, I was actually making a fairly decent living doing effects for other people's projects, and I was very unhappy with that day job, and I'll explain why. But before that, I was struggling finding a day job that wasn't running me ragged, keeping me up all hours of the night, costing me money, and taking me away from my family. Now, if you know anything about me, my family is very important to me. My children and my wife are my number one priority. And it's not just about financial support. It is about, as one of my friends put it to me, being emotionally available for them. Raising kids is a very delicate and important task, and it's not just about making sure that they're entertained or that they have enough toys or that they're eating. They are complex human beings like the rest of us, and they need their parents to be there and emotionally available. So in my opinion, as much as I think it's important for them to go to school and interact with other students and teachers, I also feel like no matter what you're doing for a job, you should try and avoid just dumping them in a daycare after that so you can go and work your butt off, probably making less money than the daycare itself costs. You have to work smarter, not harder in this way. And you have to be emotionally available and available there for your spouse. So what was I doing? I was doing all sorts of things. I've worked at movie theaters, and in movie theaters, if you work as a night job, you can be there till like 2, 3 in the morning, sleep for a little bit, wake up, drop your kids off at school, take another nap. Then by the time you're up, you got to take care of feeding yourself, taking care of things before you have to get them from school, bring them home, feed them. Wife gets home from her work, then you're off again. Now, that doesn't pay very much money. It doesn't leave a lot of time to work on what you want to work on. So you are essentially putting yourself into a vicious cycle where you're not very happy, you're not accomplishing what you want, and you're not making the money that you need. So I tried other things. I've done Uber Eats, favor delivery. I've done driving Uber. I drove Uber for a while. All of these things are kind of tip-based things, and you can get screwed really easy doing that. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't get any of these jobs, especially if you're a young person. I think it's great. It's character building. It's a great experience. But if you are older and you are have a family and you want to be, again, I can't stress how important this is, emotionally available for them. You can't just always sit them in front of the TV. You can't just give them a phone. You can't just give them toys. It can't always be playtime. You're going to find later on that your kids are, they're growing, they're learning, they are coming up against their own struggles in life. And they need to know that you're there for them, that you're on their side, and that you're there to help. And so, this is all a long-winded way of me saying there's this myth that you just take any dead-end job that you can so that you work on your movie stuff or whatever it is you're doing as a content creator after hours. Well, like I said, if you're running yourself ragged and you want to be emotionally and physically available for your family, you want to be the parent, not just the person that shows up at the end of the day all tired after school and daycare is done. You need to find a job that you can be happy doing and you can be good at and makes more money than just your minimum wage job. I hear a lot of people saying, we need jobs, this job doesn't pay a living wage and blah, blah. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs out there that don't pay a living wage, and there's a reason, because anyone can do them. Find something that you are good at, that matches your personality, that matches your cranial capacity and that sort of thing, and you can be happy doing. Now, you're thinking to yourself at this point probably, but Christopher, you said you actually started to have success with work as a special effects artist, and I did. But there are drawbacks. Some projects I worked on I loved. Some other projects I worked on, it was like, I could be doing better work, but it's only paying this much money and I'm working this many hours. And I got to work from home. You may hear some rain coming in. Sorry about that. Look, the thing is that what I realized was I don't want to be a special effects artist for other people. I only want to be a special effects artist for myself. And I primarily don't want to be a special effects artist full time. I want to be a producer and a director. I'd love to hire other people to do the special effects. I just happen to know how to do them and enjoy them. But what I was finding was that, with a couple of exceptions, working on with a few close friends on their projects, which they were very passionate about. For the most part, I didn't want these jobs. I wasn't enjoying them. I wasn't enjoying working for other people. I wasn't enthusiastic about their projects, although I told myself I was. And most of the time it was just for the benefit of I liked them, and so I wanted to see them. I didn't want to, kind of meh at their projects, even though there were a lot of meh projects out there that I was helping with. Like I said, there are a few exceptions to that, and I've told those people already that I'm genuinely excited about their projects, so they know. But for the most part, I was working a lot of hours on their stuff, and by the time I had spent all that creative energy and all the going through the motions for what I do for my own films for them, it started to feel like I was, I was burnt out on doing that work by the time I got to my own. So that wasn't working. So these are the two day job myths that I really feel I'd been given a lot of bad advice of. This, it's like, yeah, it's fine to go work at a store or some other minimum wage job for a while, but it's not working smart. You're just wearing yourself down and becoming more bitter, and and it kind of becomes a crutch as well. I can't do this thing because I've got to do this other thing. So now I'm a notary, and I love being a notary, and I'm good at it. And it took me a while to find that job, and I don't mean find it as in you're looking around who's hiring or that sort of thing. I mean, there are a lot of different jobs out there, and you don't know about them. You don't. So it's hard to explore. It's hard to find something that you don't know exists. And it's hard to understand, the most people that tell you to just get like the minimum wage, work at a movie theater, work at retail, work at this or that sort of thing. It's because it's the only thing they know. And if you try to explore away from what other people know, they kind of knee-jerk get frustrated because, like, what? The job's right here. You should, take the job and do the thing and that sort of thing. And it's like, maybe that worked for them, or maybe it didn't work for them, but they tell themselves that it did because they don't know anything else. And they always want to kind of be cranky about their situation anyway. You see this all the time. People are constantly blaming their situation for why they haven't been successful elsewhere. And what you really find is they want to be in that situation. They want to be cranky about it. They want to blame somebody else or something else. It's always this other person. It's my girlfriend. It's the my kids take up too much of my time. It's the wealthy are doing this, or no, it's not. It's you. You are the author of your own situation. Now, it may not be what you say you wanted or what you asked for, but it is the result of your actions. I love that scene. In the last season of Samurai Jack, there's a whole thing in an episode about that. The choices you made have brought you to this place, as well as the choices I've made have brought me to this place. And you make a lot of right and wrong choices, and you learn from them. I think a lot of my wrong choices were taking advice for far too long from people who I just assumed knew better than myself. And once I stopped doing that, two things happened. The people that I thought knew better than myself became very angry with me, and revealed a level of kind of bitterness and selfishness that I don't even think they're aware of themselves. And things started getting better for me. I started realizing that I could go and make choices on my own without having to listen to them and be immersed in their own attitude, their creation. So that is my advice to you. Find something that is better than what you have now, but make it something that is other than what you think you want to do in the whatever industry or creation. You always think like, oh, I'd be happy if I was doing this full time. Well, maybe you would if you can be happy doing it full time for somebody else. But if you want to do it for you, find something that is apart from that. Find something that is better than retail or driving delivery or something like that, because those things will just put you in a cycle forever that'll just leave you bitter and angry and blaming everyone else around you when it's really your own doing. So yeah, explore. And I'd like to put it in the comments. What's a cool job that is, gives you some flexibility, gives you some time, but is something that most people would never think of? It might be, I've met actors who are physical trainers. They're physical fitness people, and it works for their acting because they're in great shape too. Notary works for me because I get to drive around, I get to meet people, I get to pet their dogs, and it makes fairly good money, and it gives me some flexibility as well. There's all these different things. So yeah, I'd love to see that in the comments, and maybe you might give a suggestion to somebody who is in a situation where they feel they're stuck in a dead-end job, or they're unhappy doing what they thought they'd be happy doing. You get the idea. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to do one more video, but I'm running out of space on my phone, so I think I'll do it tomorrow, where I want to talk about golden parachutes for Hollywood executives and why the industry looks like it might be doing just fine, but really, I don't think so. I think I'm still right about what I said in my video months ago about Hollywood being dead. We are seeing golden parachutes being built while giving the illusion that the plane is not crashing. So I'll do a video about that tomorrow, or in a few days, because my Patreon supporters get all this stuff first, so you see it later if you're not a Patreon supporter. So like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I will be back with more. So hope you're having a happy new year. Thanks, guys. Bye.